Welcome to 10 Things We Love, and this time we're doing another horror movie. And we mentioned it last time, if you watched the Return of the Living Dead one, we're doing 10 Things We Love and Hate, that's be another video, about Interview with the Vampire. What year was that released?
I should know, 91 or 93.
Wow, that's earlier than I thought.
It's early 90s. Definitely.
Yep, Interview with a Vampire, a pretty famous, legendary horror movie, vampire movie, but obviously based off, adapted from the Anne Rice book
Vampire
of the same
Chronicles.
name? Same name?
Same name,
yeah, but part of the Vampire Chronicles. There's like 9 of them now, ain't there?
Yeah.
Like the Vampire Lestat and Queen of the Damned and stuff like that.
Loads of them.
Yeah, loads of them. But this is the only... No, not the only movie that was adapted. The second movie that was adapted. No, like one of 2. It was this and Queen of the Damned, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think they did Lestat the Vampire as
movie?
well. No.
I'm sure there isn't. I would have heard about that.
Okay.
I know there's a book.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, and obviously this is the one everyone knows. This is pretty famous one, particularly because of cast and the timing of more than much as anything else. So we're doing 10 Things We Love. I'll get us started then. Mm-hmm. Don't be looking at my answer sheet.
I'm not looking.
You just looked.
I can't read from here.
Okay, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but ultimately it is something I think everyone has to love, and certainly I love. Tom Cruise is a Lestat. He's over the top and fun. He certainly plays this role with vigour. I'd argue that he knew that he wasn't potentially a great casting choice. Yeah. Obviously, Anne Rice didn't want him as Lestat. She since apologised and stuff like that, and said it's wrong. And I think like if there's one thing when I think about Interview with the Vampire, I think of there's a scene where Louis is attacking him, and all he does is laugh through it.
Coward of a vampire who prowls the night killing rats and poodles. You could have finished us both. You condemn me to hell. I don't know any hell. Oh, that's more like it. Anger, fury. That's why I chose you. But you can't kill me, Louis.
Yeah, he says you can't kill me.
Yeah, and like that's what I think of. I think of that over the top, he does a good Lestat. He's probably the most memorable character in the film. I think I would say he's the most memorable character, and the one with probably the most interesting story arc. I personally think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think Tom Cruise's Lestat was surprisingly good, and I say that because I'm not a Tom Cruise fan. Rarely has he done a movie I enjoy, and it's not like I said. Look, we'll get to that now. I think this film's heavily overrated, and nowhere as good as what people say. But it's a good performance. Yeah. Did you have that?
I did have that. I wrote it down as casting of Tom Cruise.
Okay.
Just because of the story behind it of Anne Rice losing her shit over him, Tom Cruise being casted. And then obviously eating her own words and then apologising, which I thought was quite funny. She was like, she did not plan for him to be Lestat. And the fact she kind of went back on it and went, okay, you know what, he did a good job. Yeah, shows a bit of grace in the face of like being completely like against him. But I think he's amazing as Lestat. He's got everything down. The whole kind of thing of the whole bisexuality thing. So he's very he's a threat to women and men. Yeah. Kind of thing. It wouldn't matter if you're male or female. He'd go after you and get you. Yeah. So I really enjoyed watching him. And Tom Cruise is, he's very hit and miss for me. I can't think of many films that I love that he's in. So
yeah, that's the thing. I could say he's done some good, like himself. I would never say people say he's a terrible actor and shit like that. No. That's stupid. Of course he's not. The man's a famous, heavily one of the most famous actors because of that. But when I think of like what movies with Tom Cruise do I actually like a lot, or like love. It's like and then I probably will go. Well, I like Interview with a Vampire, and he's in that. So there's that. Yeah. All right. Well, as we had one each, you can go again.
The locations.
Okay.
So I love the whole idea of like New Orleans when it's all up and coming. And the fact that it kind of gives way to like new people, and you wouldn't know if people went missing because there's so many people coming into the area. I quite like the idea of the changing worlds, and it is people just kind of going past each other.
Okay, I mean, I haven't got that, but I got something similar, which is I said it captures time periods well. From the as you say, the New Orleans style of changing worlds, the aristocracy of France. Paris,
plantation owners and
I think it captures a lot of that, even to the sort of more modern times when a lot of it was it's to do with outfits, like just capturing that time period. When you cut back to modern times and you see a bustling city of a metropolis and the characters are wearing, like Louis wearing a suit instead compared to what he was wearing. I think it captures time periods well. watching it, you believe it is that time period.
Yeah.
You believe, like, particularly, I think more probably the opening segment of New Orleans, the plantations, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The manor.
It does date it by the fact that they have slaves.
Yeah,
That
well,
does,
yeah,
that does put it in a very specific time period of like.
Yeah, but I think it captures
their
that.
wealth
It's
and
believable. The
arrogance.
swamps and stuff like that. Yeah, you know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, that's. All right. Well, that was another one of mine. So I'll go again. A lot of mine, unfortunately, are to do with cast because I struggled with this one. Antonio Banderas. He's also really good in it. I think he. I think what I like about his character and his particular role is his vampire exudes power but tiredness. Like, I always got that impression that he's so weary of the inner bickering politics, the way the vampires are, that he's just like constantly slumped in the chair. He's more like Dracula than anything else, I reckon. Like, he reminds me of the head vampire from Vampire Hunter D, who's just weary and looking for something for excitement and sits on his throne like that and is just like, let them do what they want to do. And I guess that's why when he meets Louis, he gets excited because it's like
someone new,
something fresh, something interesting, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I had Armand because I think he's like an amazing vampire. I say he's like very sexy, very powerful.
Yep.
You can see why he's obviously controlled that coven of like the host of like them vampires. So he hasn't got to say much, but they know that he's the top vampire.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I love. Yeah.
A quiet threat. You know, you always kind of think of the scene. If you kind of want to see that threat, see the scene with Stephen Ria's Santiago and Louis when they first meet, and it's kind of goofy and silly, and we'll get onto that in a hate video.
Yeah, he snaps at him
and he
like,
just says one word, and it ends. And then Armand's there, and it's like, there's his power.
Yeah.
But even then, his power is waning.
Yeah.
You can see that as
because they go against him.
They go against him. It's you know, I guess it's almost like a Pride of Lions. You know, when you become old and weak, and young one's always going to take you down.
Yeah, there's always that element of like, oh, come on now, you'll be replaced soon enough.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you're not willing to sort of, you know, almost like you're not going to be what we want you to be, which is vampires. Yeah. Okay, go on then.
I had Armand as well.
Okay.
The costumes, I absolutely fell in love with. Like I said before, that the place of the ages, and when Claudia gets to try on new dresses, and he like indulges her with the dresses. I absolutely
It's
love
very
that.
Sex in the City too. Costume changes.
Don't speak about that film in context of this intro.
But do you know what I mean? Like you know, there is a lot of it.
Yeah. And obviously it kind of shows that she is still a young girl when he does lavish that affection and dresses and money on her. But just when you're watching it, I watched this film obviously when I was really very young, I was like, I wanted all them dresses and big
foofy things.
The blue one and the ones that Claudia and the lady, the one that they die quite quickly after. I don't think they name her. The blue and green, look how vivid they are when they get put in the air.
It was high class wear, isn't it?
Yeah.
I got one more for the cast. Then and then I'm done with like specific things. But although he doesn't have a huge role in it, Stephen Rea as Santiago, interesting casting, very interesting casting. But I gotta praise it. He has a smile. This little smile he does several times throughout that I think's fucking incredible. He does only first meet Louis, but probably the best moment is when Louis confronts him after Kirsten Dunst's character is dead, and he doesn't say anything. He just sort of smiles and sort of like as if to sort of say, what? What?
Yeah.
What?
Well, I had that as my smug.
The smug thing, the smugness of him. It's just like, what? This is it, you know?
Yeah.
And like at that point, Louis can't dare do anything because they'll rip him apart.
And that's the law. That's the law. They have.
That
have many
is what it
laws,
is. Yeah.
They haven't got many sort of ethics and morals,
basically,
but
it's almost racism to a point. Pure bloods.
Yeah.
It's you know
you
the
can't
whole
kill your own kind.
Yeah. It's a big thing, and he does it really well. And I know it was seen as an odd casting choice.
I think he's fantastic.
I think he's good as well. I think he's good. He's one of the most memorable characters for someone who doesn't have a lot of scenes. Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed him. So I had him as well.
Okay. Right, then I'll go again, considering we're doubling up all these cast awards. Hopefully some of these are going to be different. What's the character's name?
Claudia.
Claudia's death scene is one of the more grim moments. It's really grim, actually. Showing kind of vampires to be so evil even to each other. It's, you know, because they could have killed her, but they did it in a really
Slow,
grim,
way.
like, you know, the slow light creeping across the thing. And even when Louis finds them, you know, he touches her cheek and she crumples to dust. It's a pretty grim scene. Yeah.
It makes you wonder why they've got that. Thinking about it now, why they've actually got that. So
For that exact reason.
It is made for that. So obviously there is a. So they do actually kill. They could maybe kill more than just them two in the past.
It's obviously it's basically their form of hanging or lethal injection to us. You know, that's what it is. You've done a crime. You've been tried or whatever. We've decided, you know, this and this is how you die. It's just not very humane in that sense. But then, like I said, you do run it difficult. There aren't exactly a list of ways to kill vampires. So that's a obvious one. I think that's a grim scene.
My next one will be a story. It sounds really weird to love, but the story is how miserable Brad Pitt was. It kind of helped. It was like method acting for Louis. Because it wasn't mopey you get in that film. But when you read the stories about how miserable he was, and obviously the makeup and the contacts were so uncomfortable.
This isn't a love one. Okay.
Because it kind of made the performance better. I thought because he was miserable. He was trapped as a vampire. He didn't want the life of a vampire.
Well, put it this way: on my list of all the cast I'm praising, Brad Pitt ain't getting a shoe in on this list. He's getting a shoe in on another list.
I'm biased.
No, I know the story he's talking about. He did well. We'll say it now, and it'll come up in the hate video as well. I'll tell you now. But Brad Pitt did not want to do this movie. He even called a producer to try and get out of it, and only because of money, the cost it would have cost for him to have to exit the movie, stuck him around. And you can say, well, that sucks, but like, you know, fair enough. You could say, I don't really think it affected his performance. He's Brad Pitt. He's a talented, multi-layered actor. You would, you know, just because he didn't want to do it didn't mean he wasn't going to do it properly. But I know the stories you're talking about. All right, it does feel like a vampire epic. I'll give it that. A lot of vampire movies tend to be concise and in one location / story. This does tell an epic. It would have been difficult to tell this adaptation, I think. And in a decent amount of time, they managed to really, really go time frame, story, characters, and across a concise amount without it's got dragging scenes, but without it ever feeling too dragged out. And I'm going to actually go with another one now, because it ties into this. And a lot of this I praise because of the cutbacks to the interview. Smartly, people say that some people might say, well, that kind of takes you out of it. I don't. I think it helps break up the segments, because what we are hearing is a retelling of a story for an interview. So parts will be left out here and there, and you would maybe gloss over something that you don't deem as important. And that's what comes up. And that jumping back to those interview segments, it helps break up the story and makes those jumps when we're in one location and how it gets to another, or what happened in between. Like, you know, we have these massive segments. Ultimately, Claudia, particularly when they're happy, Claudia Lestat and Louis, that's done in a very kind of almost, not montagey way, but like a sort of like, you can imagine Louis is telling the interviewers, just going, well, you know, we spent months having good times and stuff like that. We just see that where, like, you know, like Lestat's decorating a room, she's trying on dresses. It's only time it ever slows down in those moments is when something important's about to happen. And I think that was it makes it feel like a proper retelling, but also captures, I think, a lengthy epic, a true story. Yeah.
Well, what do you say we get started?
So you want me to tell you the story of my life? I'll tell you my story. I'll tell you all of it. I'm flesh and blood, but not human. I haven't been human for 200 years.
I see the similar point as well, and it kind of shows you the sort of the phases of the vampires as well. So when everything's happy and they're doing well, it's like there's like a thoroughfare or flow of people coming through. It's like a buffet almost.
They're surrounded.
And then when obviously things get a bit tougher, so say in Paris, the fact people can travel a bit more freely, people would be noticed. Strangers come into town and people go missing. It would start to make people
those links
wary.
would. It's like, these people start missing at the same time. This particularly as well, they had wealth and they flaunted it. So they were names. They were important people. They were seen and known.
Yeah.
And you end up in, like with old vampires in that situation, eventually links start tying in.
Yeah.
And, you get to more well-off places. And there would have been authority figures, and stuff like that. Particularly the further they get in, to modern times as well, like you say,
So in Paris as well, with the theatres, they kind of tread a fine line because it was called theatres vampires. Obviously, there's like folklore about things in more modern France. So obviously, tread quite a fine line of being entertainment, and obviously people start thinking.
No, I don't buy into that.
I think there was a bit. I think they shocked people, but I think people that you'd have to be careful of how long you'd stayed in one area.
Oh, right.
You see what I mean?
Yeah, when that go, but then weren't they choosing literally?
They were choosing like street
urchins, yeah. Like, do you know what I mean?
Like a little starter menu thing with a little boy, but
as horrible as it is the same to a modern day. If you're homeless and you've got a family and so on, and you go missing, who's there to report you missing?
Yeah.
You're just gone.
Yeah.
You're just gone.
Yeah.
Well, as you put it, I'm going to go again because you brought up the theatre. There's vampires. There's a line said that I do like, just a line, and it's vampires pretending to be humans, pretending to be vampires.
Yeah.
It's a cool line. Line. That's it.
I like
cool
that.
line. Yeah.
I went with I put again that cathedral scene. I thought that scene was like very sexy. Not the first part, but like
Which one?
the cathedral when Armand first comes out and his
sexy. I would use the word erotic.
Yeah, that's a better word for it.
Yeah.
But I actually love that scene, and like even just like stills of it, which just comes out the back of the theatre.
But he is like young Antonio Banderas, particularly with the pale face and all that. The dude exuded sexiness, eroticism. He, it's Antonio Banderas. Man, the dude's particularly in his younger years. You think of Mask of Zorro and stuff like that.
Desperado and things like that.
Yeah, like the dude, like for that, what would you call it? What would you call his look? His culture background.
He's Spanish, isn't
Yeah,
he?
but what we
Latino?
I guess a Latino heat kind of thing going on,
Yeah. Even with like pale makeup, he managed to kind of exude it because obviously he had to pale him.
Black long hair and everything. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I think I definitely see what you're saying. I've got two more. So I'm gonna go with. It's pretty gory. It was R-rated at the time in America and R-rated over here. And interestingly, when normally this is an adaptation, and with famous actors that you kind of wanted to be successful, they could have toned a lot of this down. They could have toned it down, and it wouldn't have been I don't think anyone would have really massively complained, but it didn't. So we really do get some pretty violent scenes. Like Tom Cruise Lestat having his throat cut. That's pretty graphic. The amount of blood that's shed there,
Louis, put me in my coffin. Put me in my coffin.
I'll put you in your coffin!
My God.
Interesting side note, that's not Tom Cruise.
Just an animatronic.
That's an animatronic, but interesting, But like, they could have toned a lot of that down. They didn't. The blood-sucking scenes, they're pretty nasty.
On,
when for example, another one is when Kirsten Dunst, I can't remember her name again. Claudia. Kind of reveals the dead body. They could have cut. They could have cut from seeing like the mouldy, gross-looking body.
Yeah.
You could have seen a hand.
Yeah.
They didn't. They kind of went for the full torso and head and everything. Yeah. You got any more?
I wonder how much makeup effort went into the makeup.
Right.
So how long it took to put them into. So they kind of, rather than just like tracing on veins where they thought they might be, they actually made them hang upside down, so the blood would be there to trace over.
So stupid.
So you can actually see that. I think, as I say, if you ask people to do it, they do it. I think it looks good because it actually looks like the veins under their skin, like translucent skin, rather than like, we just think there might be a vein here. So I like the idea of that. It goes into it, and so they spend hours doing it because
I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah,
no,
I think it's something like vampire films where they look a little bit like, they just got the fangs and they're vampires. Like, no, these guys, they actually are undying. At least go to some effort and put a bit more into it.
Yeah.
So they're not zombies. They're a type of monster. Make them like human-esque so they can kind of pass amongst people. So I really like that.
Yep.
When I read about that. So
how many more you got?
I've got One more.
One more then, so I'll do my one. It's really simple. Anne Rice loved the adaptation. That's a good thing, ultimately, when it comes down to it. We have far too many adaptations, and you tend to think of King and stuff like that, where the creator just says, I don't like it.
Yeah.
And even if you like the movie, you know, when you know it's an adaptation, you're like, oh, it doesn't appeal to the creator. It means things weren't right, and so on.
Yeah.
Ultimately, Anne Rice was very happy with this end result. Very happy. That's a good thing, I think.
Yeah.
Whether or not you've read the book and you think you didn't like this or you didn't like that, you know, I think... ultimately, Lestat in the book to Lestat in the movie is quite different.
Yeah.
But it stands on its own in that part, but it's also faithful enough that the creator's like, yeah, cool, I'm happy with that.
I'm happy with that. Christian Slater wasn't originally supposed to play Malloy. It was going to be River Phoenix. After the film was made and he got his paycheck, Christian Slater donated it to two of River Phoenix's two charities, wasn't it? In River Phoenix's name. So I thought that was quite nice. That's a really nice gesture. So obviously, at the tragedy, he made that gesture and gave all his money to charity.
Yeah, we didn't know this until literally the other day when we found this out, and it's something that should probably be more well known. That's an incredible story. He didn't have to do that.
No.
He didn't have to do that, and we'd been none the wiser. No one would be any wiser, and he did that. That's awesome. That's really fucking good.
Yeah.
Really, really nice. Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought it was quite one to end on.
Yep, yeah, great one to end on. And there's our 10 things we love about Interview with a Vampire. A lot of crossover. I suspect we're going to have a lot less crossover in the hate one. So make sure you check out 10 things we hate about Interview with a Vampire as well. Thanks for watching. Of course, any suggestions, drop them in the comments. Like and subscribe. Do the usual. Thank you.